Okay, I'd like to call the meeting of the St. Louis County Board of Zoning Adjustment to order. The board members present today are Janet Herman, Chairman, Angelia Bills, Member. The Department of Planning staff members are Debbie Nesbitt and Mel Wilson. First, I offer into the record the affidavit of publication pertaining to today's meeting, May 6, 2020. The board hereby takes official notice of and admits into evidence on the record the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance, Chapter 1003, St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended, and Chapter 1004, St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended. Oops. Next, I would call for a motion to approve the minutes of the previous BZA meeting of March 25th, 2020.
So moved.
And I will second. The hearing procedure is informal, but is a teleconference recorded. The planning staff will read each request into the record. The petitioner will be unmuted, state their name, and make a brief presentation to the board explaining the reason and hardship for the requested variance. The board will not consider financial hardships. Board members may ask questions to clarify the facts. When the board is satisfied with the material presented, the chairperson will then ask if there is anyone in favor or opposition to the request. To do so, click the hand next to your name. If any comments were submitted, staff will read them into the record. Before a call for the vote, the petitioner may request a continuance in order to bring in additional documentation. The board may also request a continuance to gather additional information or for a visit to the site. Once all comments have been heard, the chairperson will call for a vote, and at that time, the discussion has ended. No further discussion is permitted. The board will generally make a decision today. Since there are only two members at this time, if the board's vote is split 1-1, the request will be deemed held until a third member is appointed. If a variance is approved, the petitioner has 6 months from the end of the state of emergency to obtain the necessary permits or establish the use requested, or the variance will expire. The petitioner or any interested party has the right of appeal to the St. Louis County Circuit Court. This must be done within 30 days of the decision. Paperwork indicating the board's decision will be mailed to the petitioner. That's the end. Okay.
Okay. So first we have 38-20 RFT Investments Incorporated requests an exception to front yard regulations for the purpose of installing a freestanding business sign at 7301 South Limburg Boulevard, maintaining a front yard of 0 feet in lieu of 15 feet as required by the C3 shopping district regulations and section 1003.168 sign regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Now, subsequently, this petition has been withdrawn.
Okay.
So we will move to 4320 Tanis Stoops, request an exception to the regulations that govern the enlargement, extension, construction, reconstruction, or structural alteration of a non-conforming use, land, or structure for the purpose of replacing a deck on the rear of the home in the M1 Industrial District at 8201 New Hampshire Avenue, as required by section 1003.170 non-conforming uses, lands, and structures of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. So now, Mr. Bertik, I'm going to bring you on to give this presentation. So you should be able to go ahead, Jake.
Unmute him, yep.
Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot to unmute. Yes, my name is Jake Berchitz. I'm the neighbor of Tanis Stoops, which she owned the house after her father and grandmother all passed away. They had a deck on the back of the house. About a year or so ago, Tom, the previous owner, had the deck rebuilt. So when it came up for sale of the property, she asked me, being I'm a contractor, if I could take care of this for her. So the deck was properly built, far as I could see. I drew up the plans and submitted to St. Louis County. I got the permit back from St. Louis County. So I guess I'm still at this meeting. The new owners are trying to get moved in, and they just want to get moved in and get everything squared away.
Okay, so oops, was that a replacement of a previous deck, or is that
It was a replacement of the deck that was already there, same size, everything.
All right, so we're really just voting in it in to legalize it for the sale of the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Angelia, do you have any other questions about it?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. I don't either, since it's been there probably before zoning, it looks like, and it's just,
I've lived here 23 years and it's been here ever since then.
yeah. So, okay, so, before I vote, well, I guess I don't need to, there weren't any letters of opposition to this, right? Correct?
No.
Okay, all right, then we're good to go. Okay, 43-20, I'm gonna vote to approve the variance as advertised. The hardship being the need to replace an older deck with the newer one in the same footprint that it had been in before, probably pre-zoning.
I second it.
Okay,
Did we need to ask if there was anybody attending, if they had any comments, or do we already know that in advance? I'm sorry to interrupt.
oh, sorry, I didn't think there was anybody attending except for that other one. Nobody told me about. Is there anybody attending?
If anyone does have a comment, if you're on your computer, if you could click the raise hand button. But it looks like most of the attendees are the petitioners, but if anyone would raise their hand, we can,
I'll go ahead and ask that. I was just assuming that people were sending most of it by email, but I'll ask that every time anyway. Okay. So Mr. Veritich, those will be sent to you, the paperwork.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay,
You're all done with me?
yes,
Okay, thank you.
okay,
Have a great evening, ladies.
thank you.
Two.
all right, 44-20 Moolah Temple Association requests an exception to the sign regulations for the purpose of installing wall signage at 12545 Fifi Road, maintaining a sign size of 60 square feet in lieu of 50 square feet as required by the R2 Residence District Regulations and Section 1003.168 sign regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Mr. Weigart, you should be unmuted now if you want to make the presentation.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
So this sign is going on the back of a building that used to be a junior high school. The view you're seeing right now on the screen is where the proposed sign is supposed to go. As you can see, the wall that is going on is 40 foot by 141 foot. And our sign takes up a space of 5 foot by 12 foot. And there is, behind the back of this property is all common ground that when you get to the other side of the common ground, you get to Highway 270 and Page Avenue extension that's going through right there. So really no one will be able to see the sign behind the back of it, and it won't distract anyone else.
so you really need visibility from,
Below where the sign is at, where you see the shutter over the top of the doors, that's the entrance to the Noble Lodge Hall that's inside of this building. And the building is used as the Moolah Shrine building for member meetings. And above it is a gymnasium. So above where we're at is a gymnasium that's commercially used for some basketball camps and things like that for kids, and some volleyball they play inside there.
so you need it for visibility, for identification.
Visibility for identification. Mostly when we're attracting new members and they're coming to a meeting for the first time, they have to drive around the building, around to the back of the building. And it's kind of confusing to them as to where our lodge hall is actually at. So by having the sign above it, it'll help us to be able to identify for people where they need to be going to enter.
Okay, great. I don't have any other questions. Angelia, do you? No? Okay, I'm gonna ask, is there anyone that is for or against this petition? What do they hit?
There's a, next to your name on the attendee list, there's a small hand icon that you would click that would show us you want to speak.
Okay.
Is there anything in the file for this one?
That's
So
not-
since it
Okay.
is a sign, the staff had prepared a report. This is one of the reports we emailed you earlier. So this slide shows the proposed sign and then sort of an approximate, the red box shows that what is permitted as per the zoning ordinance. The staff feel that the location of this sign sort of necessitates a bit of a larger sign.
Yeah, so it's a small difference. Okay, well, I'm ready to vote, Angela, if you are. Angelia? I think we might have lost her. There's a circle going around. Can you hear me, Mel?
I can hear you, Janet.
But in front of Angelia, there's a big.
Angelia, are you there? Here she is.
Yeah, I popped back in. I think that was the internet. Sorry.
Okay. Are you ready?
What's the
to vote?
question?
I said, I'm ready to vote. Are you ready to vote?
Yes, yes. What is I don't know what the number is.
This is
44-20. 44-20.
44-20, I vote to approve the variance as advertised, and the hardship just being the need for the sign to be more visible.
Okay, I second. So, Mr. Weigart, we'll send you the paperwork.
Okay, great. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
next 45-20 PPM/Keller Plaza LLC requests an exception to the sign regulations for the purpose of installing a new monument sign at 4540 Lee Mayfair Road, maintaining a sign height of 12 feet in lieu of 8 feet as required by the CA Planned Commercial District Regulations, Section 1003.168 sign regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance and C8 Ordinance 22,160. Mr. Pfeiffer, are you the representative for this petition?
That is correct.
All right, go ahead.
Well, the primary purpose is to gain some visibility on Lee May Ferry. There currently is no monument sign for this location.
Okay. So you just have limited visibility, right?
Correct. And I think originally when this property was demised and developed, it had access, I'm gonna forget the name of the street, sorry. But the other part of the property is now, and it is not part of this parcel at all.
Okay. And
That's
and
the picture you're seeing there,
right.
go ahead.
And so you're asking for your sign to be kind of where that for lease sign is, that white one right there, right?
That's correct. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have some pictures that person from the office took. So okay. So you really need it for visibility of your it's just a monument sign, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. With a small increase in height.
Yeah, the height is the variance.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't have any questions.
I don't think I have any other questions. Angela, do you?
No.
Okay. Mr. Pfeiffer, I'm going to see is there anyone on this that is for or against? And if you are, there's a small hand icon by your name to press.
We do have one hand raised.
Okay.
Councilman, is that?
Question.
Oh, it's okay.
It's a question.
Would you state your name, please?
Yes, I'm Lori Trachis.
Go ahead.
Yes, I was just curious to know, there's a sign a little bit up the way at the plaza up front, how tall that sign is. I'm sure you might not know it offhand, but there's a monument style sign there.
I think that might be on a different parcel.
Right. It's on the same road, it's just up a little bit further.
Yeah, that's on a different parcel. That's on 4530 Lee Mayfair, I think, and this is 4540.
But just as far as, just curious, is it 8 feet? Is it 12 feet? It's just something I, as a councilman, might ask. So I want to make sure he knows.
So the permitted height is 8 feet. So that sign is likely 8 feet tall unless unless the property owner sought a variance for that sign. It's likely 8 feet.
Okay. There's a few other signs in the area that have recently just been placed. I don't know if you can know if they had a variance on those signs either. I'm not sure. There's one across the street from that location.
We don't have that on hand, but we can get that information.
Okay. I think Ernie would probably just like to know that, if that's okay.
We
Okay,
can find it, yeah.
so you're not necessarily against, you just wanted to know that information.
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
Okay, so we prepared a report for this sign request as well. So the slide on the screen now shows the proposed sign, and then on the right, the red box is an approximation of what 8 foot would be. And we would note that this tenant space is located off of Mayfair. So we feel that the small variance in height is reasonable.
Right, and they have very limited visibility, I think, where they sit. Okay, so if that's the only other remark, I guess I'm okay to vote. Are you, Angelia?
Yes, I am.
Okay, 4520, I'm gonna go ahead and vote to approve the variance as advertised. The hardship for this petition is the limited visibility.
I second it.
Okay, Mr. Pfeiffer, we will send you some paperwork.
I appreciate your time and your consideration and your approval. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Next, 46-20 WMAC 2013 LLC requests an exception to the parking regulations and the regulations that govern the enlargement, extension, construction, reconstruction, or structural alteration of a non-conforming use, land, or structure for the purpose of adding a room addition to an existing residence in the M1 Industrial District at 12829 Spanish Pond Road, and maintaining the existing gravel drive in lieu of a paved drive as required by section 1003.165 off-street parking and loading requirements and section 1003.170 non-conforming uses, lands, and structures of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Mr. Wimberly, I've unmuted you
Yes,
for your
ma'am.
presentation. You
I'm
go
here.
ahead, Mr. Wimberly.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here representing WMAC 2013 LLC. My name is Adam Wimberly. Do you want me to go ahead? I can't really see here. Oh, you got the picture. I just got my survey papers in today that shows a really good drawing, but I think the road and everything is fine. My biggest concern is the deck on the one side is what everybody was unsure about as far as the zoning goes. But I have those measurements in front of me. The deck is going to be 14 foot on that side, and we have well over 25 foot, and it's in the drawing I have right here behind me. But and the room addition is 14 by 27, and it is going in between the house and the garage, so we know it's safe, and it's got the footage on there as well. The room is 17 by 27.
Okay. So I didn't get a picture for this, I don't think, so I'm just gonna go by.
Right, we just have this sketch, but the purpose of this request is that the residence is in the M1, so they would need to maintain their legal non-conforming status to add this addition and to maintain the gravel driveway.
Okay.
Expand
And
the residence, right.
probably predates zoning. In this area, we have, some isolated cases. We had one earlier today where you have residences that are zoned M1. So the issue is not a setback, the issue is the expansion of the legal non-conform of the house.
Okay.
And how many or how many acres does this house sit on?
It's sitting on 1 acre, ma'am. It's about 100. It's right at 100 foot. Well, I can tell you exactly. It is, 100 exactly in the front, and it is. Let me see here. I've got 475 long, and on one side, and it's 448 on the right side, and on the back, it is 94.7. So it's almost 100 foot wide by about 500 foot long.
Right, and it's pretty much surrounded by a huge lot.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I can barely see when I'm out there on
And
that
this
property.
isn't too far from, this is close to Spanish Lake Park.
Yes, ma'am. When you go, after you get off of my gravel road, go past all the neighbors, Spanish Lake is about probably half a mile from my property.
Okay.
Okay, yes, I know where you
Definitely
are.
off.
It's
Yes, ma'am.
very,
I'm definitely off the
kind
grid.
of
I'm
rural
definitely,
up
I'm
there.
definitely off the. Yeah, I'm definitely
Pretty
off
cool.
the grid.
Yeah, it looks like it in the picture. Yeah.
Yeah, it's out there.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
okay. Do you have any other questions, Angela?
And if
No,
y'all
I
need those
don't.
other drawings, I can send whatever I need to.
No, I think this is good enough. Let me see if is there anyone against or for this
And
petition?
the
So
hardship,
there's a small hand. Pardon me, Angela, what were you saying?
oh, and what was the hardship for the variance?
It was originally, it was built as a house, it's been used as a house for at least 60 years, even though the zoning is not for a house. So it's clearly not, it's clearly a residential use, even though it's not zoned for residential.
So just making it legal.
Yes, ma'am. So I can move forward with the addition in between the house and the garage.
Okay. Let me just see, is there anyone here on this WebEx that's in favor or against it? If so, there's a small hand icon by your name to press.
I don't see any.
You don't see, okay, because I can't see anything. Okay, Angela, if you're ready.
Is this 96-20?
4620.
6.
46, I'm sorry. 46-20, I vote to approve advertise. And this is basically a rural area, so it's not going to cause a lot of impact with the variance.
And I'll second.
Next is 47-20, Mirzet Salimovic, 997 Porter Hills Drive, St. Louis, Missouri, 63129, requests an exception to the rear yard regulations for the purpose of constructing a roof over an existing patio at 997 Porter Hills Drive, maintaining a rear yard of 3 feet in lieu of 15 feet as required by the R4 Residence District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Mirzet, you should be unmuted now.
Hi. Yes. My name is Mirzet. I'm the owner of the property 997 Porter Hills Drive. Yeah, my house was in fire New Year Eve, and the good thing we are everybody okay. And I'm going to rebuild my house, and I wanna put like I got a 15 by 15 patio in the back. It's concrete already, so I wanna put the roof over the concrete to just have something if it's rain or something, and got a twins girls we can play and we can have fun outside. So
And I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Mr. Solomovic.
yes.
I drove by there yesterday because I was looking at a picture that was sent to me from the county, and it was hard to see from the picture what was going on. And to my surprise, the roof was already on.
Yes, because I did put on, but I have a storage down in the basement. I move out in the smaller house, and I don't have a place to put my stuff. I got a lot of stuff down in the basement, and every rain it's a leak, and it makes more damage down on my stuff, like my storage. And I put the roof, just leave the roof. I'm not gonna touch anything else till I get the official permit.
Well, that's what this variance was for the roof to go on, and yet you put it on without getting the variance.
Yeah, but if I have to remove, I will remove. Whatever you say, guys, you are the in charge. So
It's my picture.
I went through a lot of stuff, because stress and everything. I was in the house when was the fire, so and a lot of stuff. It's memories, it's gone. I got some stuff in the basement, and every rain I have to go down and cover, and the roof is fly everywhere, and I don't want to remove the roof till I put a new one. So, and I decide to put a new roof till.
Okay, Angela, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, so is this like a new construction in this backyard? I'm trying to understand what's going on.
No, actually, the house was in the fire and the roof all was burned. Actually, half roof was burned, but the frame and everything was was okay. And I just put a roof on existing framing. I don't touch any framing or anything.
Is that that's the current roof that's on the picture?
Exactly, same roof like was before. I don't change anything. I just want existing, like the cover the face. Yeah, but everything else is same.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any other questions, Angela?
No.
Okay. So if there's anyone for or against this, on the Webex, there's a small hand icon by your name if you want to hit that, if you want to speak. You don't see anything, Mel?
I don't see any.
Okay. Okay. 47-20. I'm going to vote against the variance. As I was out there, and I drove next to the. I drove up there, and it's very, very close to not the house we're looking at right now, but there's a house to the side there, and it's extremely close. I don't even know if it would meet fire regulations. I'm very concerned that it would impact the neighbor's property. Have they ever felt like selling? So I am going to deny it because of that.
I concur.
Yeah, I talked to my neighbor. He's agree, but whatever you say, guys.
Yeah.
Still get a copy of his application.
Yeah. Well,
Sir, you'll receive a copy of your application in the mail.
Okay.
Okay.
Next, 48-20, Elaine and Norman Jump request an exception to the side yard regulations for the purpose of installing new decking and railings at 5133 Susan View Court, maintaining a side yard of 2 feet in lieu of 5 feet as required by the R6A Residence District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance and PEU Ordinance 25,878. Mr. Jump, you should be unmuted now.
Okay.
Okay, I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. The deck was built 3 years ago by McBride Construction when they built the house. So it should have been approved already. The problem is that I am not replacing the structure of the deck. The issue was that apparently there's one of the posts is halfway across the line for an easement or an access. All I wish to do was just keep the present structure as it is and replace the decking and the railing as it is. I have received approval from the Homeowners Association, and that's where I'm. So I just wish to, the decking and the railings, they will conform with the Homeowners Association.
Yeah. So that was an oversight.
It was an oversight by the contractor.
Yeah. Okay. And so you just want to replace it. Replace
the decking.
Yeah. Okay. I don't. Do you have any other questions, Angelia?
No, I don't.
Okay. Is there anyone that's for or against this petition? If so,
no one is against it, and it's been approved by the Homeowners Association.
Okay, I just want to see if there's anybody on our WebEx that is.
Oh, I am sorry.
Yeah. So if anybody is for or against it, there's a little hand by your name that you could press and you could speak. So I guess not right now. No.
Okay, are we ready to vote?
Yeah. We can't call anymore, but anyway, go ahead, Angela.
Okay, and so is this 49?
It's 48.
48-20, I vote to approve the variance as advertised. And the hardship is the property was built on the line, so it predates the current owner of the home.
I'll second. Okay, so Mr. Jump, you'll be getting your paperwork in the mail.
I appreciate this very much. And I appreciate also a video conference so that we don't have to go up to Clayton and fight traffic and we don't have to worry about the COVID virus. So this is very kind. Thank you very much.
Okay, okay. Bye.
Goodbye.
No. Mel? We couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry? No.
Mel, I keep losing you.
Who's Mel?
Mr. Jump, are you still on?
No, this is Steve Missy.
Okay. Oh, so you're with the next you're the next petitioner. Mel
Yes, ma'am.
is running the meeting from the county.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I can't hear her. Can anybody else hear her?
Oh my gosh, I had myself muted. I'm so embarrassed. Give me
Come on, you
1
Mel.
second.
Yeah, so we couldn't hear you what you were.
All right, here we go. I'm going to read the petition into the record.
Okay.
49-20 Douglas Arrett requests an exception to the side yard regulations for the purpose of replacing a deck at 7016 Tomview Court, maintaining a side yard of 1 foot in lieu of 5 feet as required by the R2 Residence District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance and PEU Ordinance 14,266. Okay, Steve, you can go ahead.
Okay, great. This is Steve Missy. I'm the contractor on the project. So essentially what we have is the Irritz residence has an existing deck there. I think you should have a plot showing the location of the deck on the house. That's all existing. We're simply just replacing the deck just as it is. The only access from the deck is actually where the stairs are right now. We do have easement releases from Ameren, American Water, Telephone Company, Charter, and Spire Gas as well.
Okay, so they're all in that easement in the back, right there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you already got those. All right. It looks like just the corner is in that easement.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And essentially, it's just rebuilding the existing deck just like it is, same footprint.
Okay, in disrepair, I guess. Okay.
It is not safe even at this point.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have any other questions. Do you, Angela?
No, I don't.
Okay. I'm going to ask, is there anybody on this WebEx that's for or against this? If there is, please press the little hand by your name.
I don't see any hands.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and vote. 49-20, I'm going to vote to approve the variance as advertised. The hardship being the need to put in a new deck. The other one's in disrepair. And only a little corner of it is in the easement. That's all we're speaking about. And Mr. Missy did already get talk to all the utilities. Angelia, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes, I agree. I concur.
Okay. All right, Mr. Missy. So your paperwork will be sent to you from the county.
Very good, ladies. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
You too.
Okay, 50-20 Bibek Pandy requests an exception to the sign regulations for the purpose of replacing a freestanding business and price sign at 13500 Tesson Ferry Road, maintaining a size of 31 square feet in lieu of 20 square feet, as required by the C2 Shopping District Regulations, Section 1003.168 Sign Regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance and CUP 408.
Okay.
Mr. Williams, you should be unmuted to give the presentation.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Go ahead and
Okay.
state your name.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, my name is Bob Williams. I'm with Dogon Signs. I'm representing the petitioner there. They are changing brands of gasoline that they're sell. And so they're going to switch from a mobile to a Phillips 66. What we'd like to do is to take down the mobile sign, and then the new signs, and the mobile sign right now is on top of the poles. The new signs would go just in between the poles. So the Phillips 66 will be a smaller sign than the mobile, but they would also like to post two brands of gas. They want Phillips. I mean, they want regular and diesel both. And when they do that, the price sign would be a little bit bigger. But they're trading it, and that the Phillips is smaller than the mobile, but the price sign is bigger. So they end up with a smaller sign and lower in height.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like it's actually going to be a nicer looking sign.
It's going to be a cleaner looking sign. Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Clear. Yeah.
Yeah, and the U-Haul thing is going away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll look much nicer and smaller.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't hear that very often.
Right.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Do you, Angelia?
I don't either. Yeah, no, I don't have any either.
Okay. Is there anyone on this WebEx that's in favor or opposition to this? If so, you can press the little hand by your name.
Hearing none. 50-20, I vote to approve the variance as advertised, and the hardship was the need to upgrade the sign.
Mm-hmm. And I'll second. Okay. So, Mr. Williams, you'll get your paperwork you've been here enough, you'll get your paperwork in the mail.
Okay, sounds very good. Appreciate it.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. 51-20 Eric Krassinger requests an exception to the rear yard regulations for the purpose of installing an in-ground swimming pool at 2107 Avalon Ridge Circle, maintaining a rear yard of 2 feet in lieu of 15 feet as required by the R2 Residence District Regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance and PEU Ordinance 18,392. Go ahead, Mr. Krassinger.
Hi, this is Eric Krassinger. Yeah, we're trying to install a pool in the back of our yard, but unfortunately we have a MSD sewer pipe going straight through the middle, which you see in that 10-foot easement right in the middle of the back of the yard. So we tried to put the pool we tried to design the pool between that 10-foot easement and our house, and it really just didn't work. So I worked with MSD to get an encroachment to cross that 10-foot easement in the center with utility lines to do a pool design in the back of the yard. But to do that, we would need to change the 15-foot setback in the back. As you can see, it's a steep hill. Behind us is 50 foot of wooded, steep common ground that's owned by the subdivision. There's not a lot of neighbors behind us. So basically our hardship is if we didn't have an MST pipe going right through the middle of our yard, we'd have a pool in a normal spot. But since we have that, we're limited.
I have a question. We had some pictures ahead of time to look at anyway, and then I'm looking at this one now. It looks, so your yard back there drops off quite a bit. Wouldn't you have to fill the dirt up and have a retaining wall there?
Yeah, so do you have the I sent in a picture that has the, yeah, exactly. So on that top right, there's a retaining wall on that whole backside so that it's illustrating.
They'd have to have
It's sort of built into the hill.
Mhm. But, is that on your property still? I think you probably you might need a variance for that.
On the retaining wall?
Debbie or Mel, can you answer that?
If there's a fence on the top, if it's over 6 feet total height, the wall and the fence, it would need a variance as well.
Which somehow you're gonna have to put a fence around your pool.
Yeah, I mean, we were gonna do it around the property line.
Okay, so the retaining wall would be separate, it wouldn't have a fence on it. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And I already got approvals from all the utilities for that back 10-foot easement also.
Okay.
To this,
Mel, is somebody saying something there?
we can add the request for the retaining wall and fence setback to this request. And if the board is in favor, you could grant that as well.
Okay, just in case it's needed, yeah. Okay, that's a good
It
idea.
might be 0 feet instead of 2 feet.
Yeah, well, that's fine with me because it very possibly might need it. Okay. Oh, Mel, do you have, no. Angelia, do you have any other questions?
No, I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna see, so is there anyone there in favor that's on this WebEx, favor or opposition? If so, please press the little hand by your icon by your name.
Oh, here, there is one. Let me bring him up. Okay, Jerry, you're unmuted.
Hi, my name is Jerry Bynum, and I actually live right next door to Eric, and I'm totally in favor of it. Back behind there where it slopes off goes down to a big area of common ground, and there's no homes back there, and I don't think there ever will be. Eric always does things right, so I think it looks really nice.
Okay, thank you for your
Thank you.
We always like to hear approving neighbors. Okay, well, Angelia, if you're ready to vote, I'll vote. 51-20, I'm gonna vote to approve the variance, but besides how it's advertised, also to include in there a retaining wall and fence if needed.
Okay.
We can't really tell exactly where, if it would need a defense. So that'll.
Okay, I second it.
Okay, so Mr. Krassinger, you're covered for all those in case you need it. And,
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, ladies.
okay, and then you'll get your paperwork in the mail.
Okay, great. Have a good night.
Thank you, you too.
We have 52-20, Spencer and Carol Story. Request an exception to the front and side yard regulations for the purpose of replacing porch railings and steps at 9911 Brook Avenue, maintaining a front yard of 1 foot in lieu of 20 feet and a side yard of 0 feet in lieu of 5 feet, as required by the R5 Residence District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. All right, Carol Story, you're unmuted now.
Hi, my name's Carol Story, and then we were just calling, we were just wanting to do, basically, we're replacing our rusty railings that we have, and our steps are corroding. So basically, we want to put new steps in there. We have the permits. We've been here over 30 years, and the house was built in 1925. So this is all original, and it's just corroding, basically.
And way before zoning someplace.
Yes.
Okay, so just the front steps in the railing there.
All around it, yes. And then the posts that go up to the, we're putting reinforcement on the posts that lift, that hold up. That's what it is. Just trying to make it nicer, and plus it's maintenance free too.
And basically, you're putting it back in the same spot that it's already in, correct?
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, okay.
Okay, great. I don't have any other questions. Julia, do you? Okay. Is there anyone in favor or opposition to this request? If you would hit the little a hand by your name and
No, no hands.
Okay. Okay, is this 52?
yes.
52.
52-20, I vote to approve the variance as advertised. And the hardship just being the need to keep everything in the exact same place it was in before zoning.
And I'll second that. So, yeah, so you will receive your paperwork in the mail in a few days.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Bye. All right, that was the last petition, so the meeting's ended.
Okay.
I see Debbie sneaking up behind Mel already.
Yeah.
At least
Okay.
drive your Zoom party, yeah.
Yeah, she's got to get to her wine break. Okay, well, I think that worked pretty well.
Yes, so if you guys have any feedback, let us know. If there's something you'd rather have ahead of time, we could give you this whole PowerPoint ahead of time. We don't know when our next meeting will be, but Debbie said the 20th.
Pardon me?
Debbie said we will meet again on the 20th of May.
Okay. No, I think it worked good for me. You know, Debbie Nesbitt sent me the pictures ahead of time. I was looking at